Hello everyone, Alcazar here, and we're back with some more Pokemon pieces. Our journey today starts with us making way into the next town after being able to clear the avalanche from the coal mines with the help of Team Ozone. We then have a small puzzle where we have to flash some metal cores in order to turn them off, so that they will go down and let us through. Behind the metal cores, there's a construction worker that gives me a TM that allows me to hit everyone in a fight and cut their speed in half. Our first fight of the route is against Hardhatter Felix, who starts out with their Gligar, who makes us switch a couple of times until we're finally able to take it out with our Trialdir. Then it comes out its Shock Core, who we counter out with our Muda, as he is immune to electric attacks. Afterwards, we're facing once again another Metal Core puzzle that is simple enough to get on the first try, even after this random guy decides to kick it and startle them a second time. Later on, I remembered that I had an egg waiting for me, so I went ahead and tried a couple of changes on the team, adding the egg of course and replacing Muna with a Cofiddle. After exploring some more the coal mines, I can see that the end of them is closed off, so we are forced to take a little detour through another route. The Arctica Road receives us with a double fight right from the start against a couple of hikers, and for some reason, one of them reminds me of Jack Black.
Oh, here it comes, he's gonna say it! Chicken jockey!
But most importantly, they start right away with one of my favorite Pokemons, my man Croagunk himself, along with a Cobble who I hope is not as dangerous as the real-life snapping turtle. We start the fight by hitting our Trialdir and then going for a Whirlpool against the Cobble, who I believe must be ground or rock type, as they pretty much take it in one hit. Sadly, the Croagunk uses Revenge against my Trialdir and finishes it as well. We replace him with our Manico, and the opponent sent out a Hisuian Growlithe, who right away starts with a Noble Roar that makes everyone flinch, even their own teammate. Shock Core goes for a Pursuit and Manico for a Hex, almost taking out their Croagunk, and after tanking the Fire Fang from Growlithe, we finish off the Croagunk. They replace it with a Graflito, who I could totally see as a Plant vs Zombies like image for the next game. We proceed to focus our efforts on the enemy Growlithe in order to take it down swiftly, and then we finish the Graflito with another Hex and a Fury Cutter. Down the route, we solve a simple Ice Sliding puzzle, granting us a PP up and the TM Dragon Tail, as well as the Never Melt Ice item. We battle the Skyr Winton, who throws a Panier at us, but is no match for Flame charges. However, we still go down to the hail. The opponent sends an Axel Fiend, and we send Manico. We take a lot of damage from the Ice Spears, and worst of all, our Hex doesn't do much either, and we end up being easy prey for the Axel Fiend. However, in comes our Trialdir, who takes it out with a couple of Metal Claws, and even more importantly, we learn a new Steel type move that always crits and cannot miss no matter what. And their final Pokemon is a Leflate, which we take on with our Cofiddle, and since he is a ground type, he breezes through the fight like it was nothing. Then his Nuzleaf come out and takes out a couple of my Pokemon, but we finish the fight off with our Shock Core and his Fury Cutter attacks. We are finally able to encounter our first patches of tall grass and capture some new Pokemon like Pomelonian, Golfin, Minot, and a Egg, which turned out to be a One-Egg. Since we already have Dragon type moves on the team, I decide to switch the One-Egg for our Pomelonian, as we could use the Grass type in our team. With our newly formed team, we decide to take on the rest of the route after a quick heals thanks to this hiker guy, who sends us sliding down the mountain right back into Lilycove City. We also capture Lorabats, who has a secret form we will see in the future. We then proceed to absolutely destroy this child, who challenges us to a snowball fight, and after covering him with snow, we take a snowball for the road and leave him there. We then puzzle some more sliding ice for a while, right before the Intercity Pokemon Center, but not without having to fight the Worker Orphis one more. Luckily for us, all he has is a couple of Kudo, which are not matched for our Bonfu fire attacks. Once we are in the Pokemon Center, we talk with one of the people who are there and happens to be friends with our favorite Pokeball seller, and she tells us that she has grown fond of us over time, and that each time we earn a new medal, she works to get a new Pokeball available for us.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
We then start with the second half of the route, where we start praying to these shrines in hopes that the spirits can find peace. Our next encounter is against Hex Maniac Jinxie, who starts the fight with her Sakiwak against our Bonfu, who takes it out in one hit with Flame Wheel. Afterwards, the Misdreavus comes out and is also no match for our Flame Wheels, and finally their Sprite. We already know this guy is weak to Ghost moves, so we send out Manico to take him out in a couple of hexes. After some more praying around, we proceed to capture a Misdreavus and witness the final form of Lorabats, which is basically a big Yeti guy. Later we fight against the Medium Sisters, who start out with Morrigan and Buzzard against my Bonfu and Trialdir. We start attacking with Flame Wheels and Break Swipes. We then get frozen, but not without taking out the Morrigan first. Cofiddle comes in, and since we already know he's a ground type, we hit him with some water moves from Tridalier while Bonfuyo keeps attacking the Buzzard. However, right before dying, the Cofiddle hits us with a ground move that kills out Bonfu, so we switch up to Shock Core, taking out Eriko, Hemoko and Frostlass. Finally, we reach the final shrine, and from praying in all of them, we get the Binding Band item which boosts binding moves. We then reach a cemetery where we catch a wild Snorunt, but most importantly, we encounter a twin that teleports us his other twin up in the mountain where we try to battle Monk Goto, who absolutely wipes the floor with us with his Primeape. Since we completely lost, we have to travel again through the whole route, but that gave me the chance to capture even more Pokemon like Fogelhint, who looks like Uncle Grandpa, Loppard, which we've seen before in the Psychic Gym, or Baba, which gave me Snoop Dogg vibes, and our own Sakitwak. We encounter one more fight in the cemetery against the Shrine Maidens duo who send out Sentiso and Dunsparce, so we start rolling out and hitting Thunderbolts left and right, taking out Sentiso but also losing our Bonfo to the Dunsparce. Tridalier comes out to the rescue and we start hitting our pinpoint on the Dunsparce in order to take him out, while Chokecore keeps throwing Thunderbolts on the Lepusite, which only leaves a Bibisu on the enemy team that once more falls victim to the Thunderbolts and pinpoints. And right before reaching the town, Ray appears and challenges to a battle, since he's pissed off that the team owes on trying to make him act as a mediator and believes it is part of a big scheme from us to sabotage his entire life. The battle starts and we see Pantney with his big ass pants. I'm not really sure what he's typing, so I just go for Thunderbolts before dying, but at least leaving him in the red. Tridalier comes in and takes it out with Pinpoint and then is ready to face against Lumelmo. We know he's an electric type, so we switch out to Cofiddle and start hitting him with Bone Clubs. Once the Lumelmo is out of the way, it comes Goltigator, who we start hitting with Sand Tombs right before being taken out by a Terrain Pulse. He also takes out my Bonfu, and only once Tridalier is in the fight, we start doing some real damage with Pinpoint. Then his final Pokemon, Retro Roach, comes in and takes out our Tridalier with Charge Beams, forcing us to change to Pomelonian, who also dies right away. Our last hope is Manico, who starts spamming their Bitter Malice while Retro Roach uses Critical Repair before fainting out. And with that, we're finally able to reach Sodpire Village and heal all of our Pokemon before they became the new members of the cemetery. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Goodbye!